how Kenya Moore sealed her own fate when she had the opportunity to bounce back. Welcome back to #1 Reality Junkie, where I take my reality TV junk and I just dump it right on you. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to this channel for more Housewives content. Now, you guys see the thumbnail, how Kenya Moore sealed her own fate. Look, you guys, Kenya Moore is an icon, a housewives icon. She is one of the icons who've never been a housewife, a non-housewife icon. But we love Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore is beautiful. She is funny. She can read like no other. And she has been, like I said, iconic, has iconic lines, the twirl, everything. We can say so many positive things about Kenya Moore. But here today, we're here just to be honest. Okay, as much as I love Kenya Moore, as much as I loved her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, what she has done may have sealed her fate as a housewife going forward. And this is a big money maker for her. You know, your housewife brand, you can put all your other brands, the Kenya Moore hair care, her spa now, all these things that she was doing, you know, it's like you advertise it on the show and it brings you more business. So her not being on this show is not only detrimental to the fans because the fans love Kenya Moore, but this can also be potentially detrimental to her business, to her, you know, her finances, things like that. But it's because of a decision that she made, all in the name of, quote, protection. So let's go back real quick. For those who are not familiar, they're currently filming the 16th season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And there was a situation between Kenya Moore and a newbie. Her name is Britt Eady. Britt Eady and Kenya got into it, and apparently there was a lot of expletives being used. There were alleged threats, things of that nature. Now, Bravo did their investigation. They did not find that there were any threats from the Brittany Eady party. However, Kenya still felt threatened. And so from there, she felt the need to go to the producers. The producers wouldn't listen. She felt the need to go to the higher ups. They wouldn't listen. So she decides to take matters into her own hands because she, quote, needs protection. And her way of getting her lick back with Britt Eady is to, at her grand opening, at Kenya Moore's grand opening of her spa, show pictures of Britt Eady in nude pictures of Britt Eady at her own event. Now, you know, you hear people, you know, they want to get their lick back, but that's not how you do it, okay? You could come for anything, but showing and displaying, you know, vile, you know, sexually induced pictures of your castmate you're trying to get back at your own at your own place of business, to me, just did not make any sense. And so Tamron Hall show, this aired, I believe, yesterday. You know, she has Kenya Moore on. She also has her daughter Brooklyn on, and they're in these cute matching Dolce & Gabbana dresses with the little bows. They're just so adorable. And that's the things that we love about Kenya. She's a great mom. But this decision that she made to bring these nude pictures, or this nude picture, because she said she only did one, which was her, you know, splitting hair. It showed one when she had multiple, but one is too many. Okay, one is too many. And Tamron Hall really grilled Kenya Moore on this, which is why I love Tamron Hall. She doesn't hold back. She's going to be honest, and she's going to try to get to the bottom of things. Tamron Hall asks specific questions to Kenya, and her response to those questions is why I feel she has now sealed her fate as a real housewife. Now, the first question that Tamron Hall asks is if she was fired from the show, is she still a part of the show? And Kenya Moore's response is that she was not fired, and that she was, you know, she was not fired. Okay, she didn't say she was on pause, suspended. She just said that she was not fired. And she said that she still receives checks from the network and she is still an employee of the network. Now, let's go through that real quick, because in a sense where there's a lot of there's residual income. So you're still receiving checks from the network, to me, doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, you're an employee of the network, especially in the TV world. Now, I will say that reality TV, they don't get residual checks. I am a SAG actor, so I still receive residual checks from a show that I did years ago. So I get those in the mail, that kind of thing, but I'm obviously no longer on the show, right? The show got canceled. So I still get checks. So to me, that part doesn't really resonate that well. However, she did say that she is still under contract. So I believe because so to me, that leads me to believe that there's a suspension, that she's not fired, but she is suspended from the show right now. So she did clear that particular part up. So, Tamron Hall states how she reached out to Kenya Moore. She called her to check on her, not to ask about what was going on, simply just to check in on her. And, Kenya goes into this explanation of, when you get the new girls, they want to come in and want to try to make a name for themselves, all of this kind of stuff. And this particular new girl, she doesn't want to say her name. So at no point in time does she say her name. It takes Tamron Hall to say her name. So she's like this person, and Tamron's like, her name is Britt Edie. And so, she says that Kenya Moore says that, allegedly Britt Edie was coming for her and, quote, poking the bear. And the quote that she, originated, don't come for me unless I send for you. And she minds her business. This is what Kenya Moore says. She says, again, don't come for me unless I send for you. And that Britt Edie was poking the bear but Kenya Moore was minding her business. Now we know Kenya Moore does not mind her own business. Now, let's just, I wish she just would have been just a little more forthcoming, because we can go back many seasons, 10 plus seasons, and look at different situations that have happened over the years. And a lot of it is with you not minding your own business. You and Phaedra not minding your own business. You and Nene not minding your own business. You and Kim not minding your own business. So there's too much of a track record of the complete opposite of what she's saying. And so to me, it just, when you start making comments like that and trying to play victim, versus just saying, look, I can't, she came in strong. I came in strong too. She had to say this. I was gonna come back for her too. She could have said it a little bit differently to where now I would believe this interview a little bit more. But because she's dropping these nuggets, it just does not seem genuine. So let's go to the next part. So now, look, Tamron Hall is like, okay, yes, this may be true, whatever. I don't have a tape to prove. I don't have any of this information. But take me to the salon. Take me to the day of, because what I love that Tamron says is that, we don't, we have to be accountable for how we respond. We don't get to choose what people do to us, but we get to choose how we respond in that. And this is where I feel like this was her opportunity to be accountable for her actions. And did she take the bait? No, she did not. So what happens next is where I feel she really messed up, because in her talking about her not feeling threatened, in her talking about her feeling threatened by Britt Edie, she specifically stated that she was saying that you don't know who I am, and she felt threatened. So from the moment that she felt threatened, she went to the producers. They didn't do anything, so she did her own research. In her research, she found these photos, and that's where the photo comes in at her own event. And so for her, this is what she's saying, because she felt not protected by the network. She felt threatened by Britt Edie. Her retaliation is to put up a nude photo of Britt Edie in a compromising position, because it's not a nude photo. She's doing things that are, I will not discuss on here, but she's doing it's an explicit photo. It's an explicit photo, and she took it way too far. She's making an excuse. Well, I knew the network would blur it out. I knew this, I knew that. The fact that you are defending you putting up an explicit photo, again, not a nude picture, but an explicit photo up of Britt Edie, as if it's not already out there, because she's like, it was already out there. Great, people are going to find it on their own. So why would you do that at a pivotal time where you're opening up a whole hair spa? And now look what you've done. And I'm so glad Tamron Hall said that. She's trying to say that it was her fault this happened. No, you chose to do this. You chose to put this photo up at this event. And you chose to do that, and you have to own that. You have to own that. And though she's saying she takes accountability for it, it doesn't feel like if you were taking accountability for it, there wouldn't be a but or if or only because I only did this because that's not taking accountability. Taking accountability is saying what I did was wrong. Britt Edie, I apologize. I took it to another level. I elevated it, as she said, and that was unnecessary. I didn't have to elevate it that way. And for that, I'm sorry. That's taking accountability. And so now with her saying that she's still in a contract, that she still gets checks from the network, I feel like after this interview, some things may change. I don't see any, I don't see remorse from her. It's a remorseless statement. My goal in coming on here and talking about this wasn't to drag Kenya Moore, but was to more so be honest with what is going on, what's happening. We would love to have Kenya Moore on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but there has to be some sort of consequence for the actions. There's been consequences for the actions in the past of a lot of housewives and their behavior. I just feel like had Kenya played her cards right on this Tamron Hall show, she literally could have gotten her back in good graces with the network. Not that she's not in good graces per what she's saying, but ultimately they wouldn't put her on a suspension if she was in the good graces of the network. And how you play your cards after the fact will also lend way to how the network will proceed with you going forward. Did she just mess up her chance of getting back on Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 17? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you feel like she took accountability for her actions? Do you think that she is at fault here, because Britt Edie poked the bear? Let me know in the comment section below. And look, I just took my reality TV junk and I just dumped it right on ya. Peace.